Hey everybody, Mr. L here. We're going to go ahead and walk you through how to set up and complete the scale, drawing, and plot assignment. So the objective here is to create a scale drawing with AutoCAD. And scale drawings are, learning how to create scale drawings, they're a needed skill for any CAD operator or anyone really in a technical field. Needs to be able to understand scale and how to create a drawing. So in the following assignment, you're going to learn how to set up viewports in AutoCAD. You'll understand the relationship between model space and paper space, and you'll also learn how to scale a viewport and use multi-line text. That'll get us through the assignment. So directions are here. I'm going to go through this in this video. We'll come back and follow these directions, and then I'll have that video posted down here after we finish it. And what we're going to do is we're going to create this drawing. So this is all set up here in the video and will be available. So first thing, open a new AutoCAD drawing file. So I jump here into AutoCAD. To do this, I'm going to grab the big A, red A at the top, come down to the new button, come over to drawing, and select drawing. So from the template here, you say select a template, ACAD, just standard ACAD, hit open. And this is going to open up a brand new AutoCAD file. Now, the only thing that's going to be different from my screen to yours, you'll learn this, I'll stop talking about this later, is that my background is white and yours is going to be black. That's so that when we're in the classroom, have it on the overhead, it's easier to see. So what I will do immediately is turn off my grid. I just like to turn that off, easier again for you guys to see. So what we'll do is I'm going to jump back into the assignment here, and I'm going to take a look at this drawing. All right, so we have, this is going to be what is in paper space, or also called layout space, and I'm going to create this drawing. So what I need is these two objects. Now, these two objects are actually only drawn once. These are two viewports, and we'll talk about that here shortly. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up and look at the rest of the directions. First, it says save the file to the device you are working on using the correct naming convention. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. So to go ahead and save, we're going to go up here to the big A. We'll come down to Save As, slide over to Drawing. We'll click that. And now we got to go find where to save it. Now, as we've talked about before, this is not like Google. Google Drive saves things automatically. This is not. You must save your drawings. So to do this, we're going to go to your desktop of this device. And then once we're on the desktop, we're going to put this into the CAD folder that we've made in the past that we put onto your desktop. So there's my CAD folder. I'll double click on that. Right now my folder's empty, and I'm going to go ahead and name this file. So first I'm going to put in here my name. So actually going to use my login, so S. Lacharowitz, and then afterwards I'm going to do a space, a dash, a space, and I'm going to go ahead and call scale drawing. All right, whoops. So this is my scale drawing. So I go ahead and hit save. Now that's been saved to the desktop of this computer, I can't forget to upload this to the TechEd server. So there's a backup and also my Google Drive upload so we don't lose if this computer crashes or there's a reimage or a problem occurs. We have that taken care of. All right, so now we're going to jump back into the assignment and it's going to say to using the image below, draw the line in a circle to the correct sizes. So we'll slide down, take another look at this. We have a circle that is a diameter of 3. And then we have a line that is the length of 5, and these are all in inches. So I'll come over here, I'll grab my line tool first. I'm just going to click, drag, type in 5, hit enter. There's my 5-inch line. I'm going to hit escape to finish that command. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw the circle. So I'm going to come up here to my circle tool. I'll pull that down, and I'm going to find that center diameter circle. So it's going to give me a center point first. Click, and I'm going to pull out, and I'm going to type in 5 and hit enter. And I'm going to say, whoa, that's not right. Go back and look at that image. Yeah, it's not 5, it's going to be 3. So I'm going to go back into here, and I'm going to select the circle, hit delete on the keyboard, and it deletes. So we'll do this again. Grab center, diameter, click, pull, type in 3, and hit enter, and that's far better. So while we did that, we got that into position. So now I'll go ahead, and I just want to move this a little closer because when I take a look at this image, they're kind of close, maybe not even centered perfectly, but they're closer. So jump back in, grab this. I'm going to grab my move tool, and then I'll just grab this from the center and drag it up and place it. All right, so that's all set. Now I'm going to go ahead and dimension. So I'm not going to use my quick dimension tool yet. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull down my dimension tools here, and I'm going to grab the linear dimension tool. I'm going to go to the endpoint where I can see the little endpoint grip pop up. That's that green box. Click. And I'm going to come over and click on the other endpoint. And these are left clicks, all right? I'll specify a right click if we need it. Then we're going to come up and again, we'll click again to drop that dimension. So that's in position. Now I'll come into here again, pull down my tools, come down and grab the diameter dimensioning tool. Now I have my little pick box. I'm going to come over top of the edge of the circle. It highlights. I'm going to left click, pull out, and then I'm going to click again, placing that dimension. So now I have my lines, I have my dimensions. We're all set here. And what I'm going to do, just so that I don't lose anything, because I don't like to do things twice, is I'm going to hit this little save icon. Saves the current drawing. All right, so that's saved to my desktop. All right. Now, ready to jump back into the assignment here and take a look at what we have to do next. Okay, so what we're going to do, it says in layout paperspace, set up your viewport. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. We're going to talk about what is paperspace, layout space, why do I keep using the same or different terms for the same thing. So let's get back into AutoCAD and take a look at this. So at the bottom of your screen, you see a tab. First it says model, and we are working in model space, okay? Layout 1, layout 2. That's where we're talking about going. So I'm going to click on layout 1, and now I can see this is a piece of paper, and that's the way I want you to think about this. This is a piece of paper, all right? Right now, this piece of paper is set to 8.5 by 11, standard letter size sheet. The other thing I want you to see is if you zoom in with your mouse, roll the ball forward, all right? Roll the ball forward, you can see that dotted line. That dotted line is the printer margin, okay? So anything outside of that gray dotted line won't print, all right? Now, this edge is important. When I mouse over this edge, you can see it highlights. This is a live viewport, all right? Or this is a viewport, okay? If I click on this edge of the viewport, all right, just hover over top and sit there, you can see the name. If I click over the edge, let it highlight, and then left click on it, I get these blue grips, okay? You can pull the grips, and you can see the viewport change. Now, the viewport is nothing more than what I call a magical window back to model space. Okay, so anything that happens back here in model space, all right, so if I wanted to go in here, draw some more funky lines, do some funky lines here, come back to layout space, and then I want to say, well, they're there. There they are. So that's happening, and it's a window back and forth. All right, so what I want to do with this window is I'm going to take this grip, just click on it once, come up here, and then click again just inside that printer margin so that anything inside this viewport will print. All right. And now I have a viewport that's kind of stretched out over the page. So that's all set and good. Now, let's talk about what's happening with a viewport. Now, to get out of a viewport, double-click outside of the viewport. Whoops. I'm sorry, I'm in a command. Hit Escape, and then you can get outside of the viewport. Double-click outside the viewport. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to double-click inside the viewport. You can see I'm active. I can zoom in and out. All right. I am actually drawing and functioning in model space. So if I grab my line tool and I draw some more stuff here, okay, right click, hit enter to finish the command. I'm still model space. When I come back over here to model space, there's that stuff, okay? If I were to delete all this stuff in model space, come back to layout 1, it's gone. I must have not grabbed that one, so get rid of that, all right? So with that all said, I'm going to double click outside my viewport, stops the active viewport. Now I'm on paper zooming in and out. Okay, so it's important to understand what's happening here. Now, when the paper zooms in and out, and you are in what's called layout 1, or in past years, paper space, if I were to say draw another circle, okay, it doesn't matter that it overlapped or not, I can bring it up here, all right, doesn't matter if I give it a size or not, doesn't make a difference. This is on the paper, not on the viewport. So if I take this viewport and I shrink this down, all right, this is still here. If I grab the viewport again and shrink it down so everything disappears, double click inside, oh, there's my stuff. This is still here. That's because I drew this object when paper space was active or the layout 1 was active, okay? If I draw anything when the viewport is active, it's in model space, all right? So hopefully you get this concept and you understand what's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I'm going to go ahead and pull this back across because now I'm going to go back in and we're going to continue to make some more progress on finishing this particular assignment and drawing. But it's important to understand what's going on here. So to do this, I'm going to double click inside the viewport, press in with my roller ball, get a little hand, I can push my drawing back and forth, press in with the roller ball, move the mouse back and forth, and it moves, okay? Roll the ball, it zooms in and out. Now when you roll that ball, what you're doing is down here at the bottom of the screen, you can see scale of the selected viewport. That's the scale, all right? So I want to click on all these numbers. These are fixed scales. I'm going to come up and hit 1 to 1. Now 1 to 1 positions this perfectly that, well, actually we're going to have to make my viewport just a hair bigger or move the objects closer so they fit. All right, so this is active in model space. So I could technically highlight these two objects, grab my move tool, select them somewhere, and pull it a little closer. That works too. Then come down here and reset the scale, and then push this up, and now they fit a little bit better. All right, so that's one way you can get through that. Now, with this set 1 to 1, double click outside the viewport, that closes down the viewport. Now we're ready to make another viewport down here because we need 2 viewports. We come back here to this assignment, there's 1 viewport, and here's the second viewport. Notice this says scale 1 to 1. This viewport will be 1 to 2. All right, notice how much smaller this is. So we'll have to go back and set this up. So jump into here. Now, to make a new viewport, you can either take this one, you can grab your copy tool, and you can go ahead and copy the viewport. Pretty easy. And you can go ahead and change it up however you need to. If you do not have a viewport at all, let's just say you have no viewport on your screen, okay? You click on this button up here, it's called Layout. You come over here to Layout Viewports, Rectangular, pull it down and hit Rectangular. Then you just click and pull. Do not need to hold down the left click, just click and then click again. Oh, there's your viewport, okay? Double click inside of it, scale it, and there's your scaled viewport, all right? Double click outside, drag it down a little bit more, there you go, okay? Now, with that set, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a new viewport, and I'll just click here, pull across, all right? Try to line them up, double click, let's go in here and make it 1 to 2. And it shrank, so this will fit just perfectly. So now I'm gonna double click outside the viewport, that's exits, zoom in a little bit. Don't ever forget about zooming in and out. All right, if you're working and you can't see what's going on, don't guess and click, zoom in, all right? So this takes care of getting this drawing set up like this. Now the next thing we need to do is we gotta work out some text because we need to always label your drawings. Never make a drawing without a label on it. Scale is incredibly important in technical drawing. You must tell someone what the scale is, okay? So as we do this, we're gonna go ahead and get our text in here, scale, 1 to 2 here, 1 to 1, my name, and then the date. Okay, jumping back into AutoCAD, we will go back to the Home tab at the top here. I'm going to pull down my text tool, the big giant A. It says text, pull it down, and always click on multi-line text, okay? I never really like using single line text. Always use multi-line text. Click, and we're going to pull a window, all right? Click again. Now that I have my window, I'm going to type in the descriptor and then my name. Now notice I'm using all capital letters. You want to use all capital letters, all right? Technical drawing uses all capital letters for elimination of discrepancies, okay? So this is a capital I, it's not a lowercase l, okay? So to eliminate discrepancies, we use all capital letters. And the other thing I'm going to show you is that we're going to use a specific size text, okay? So when I click off of that text, it sets it and puts it in the drawing. If I click on it again, it highlights it. If I then hit escape, I'm going to click on the text so it's highlighted, then right click, okay? We get this right click menu. I want from the right click menu to select properties. By doing so, I have all the properties for my text. I'm going to use my roller ball and slide down here until I find text height. Click on that text height, type in 0.125. That's 1/8 of an inch, or 0.125. Hit enter. That changes the size of your text. Hit escape twice, gets you out of the command. Now we're ready to go ahead and continue copying things around. Now I don't want to have this properties up here anymore, so I'll hit that little X to close it, and that's good. While I'm up here, I'll just hit save my drawing. Now we'll grab the text, grab my copy tool, And I'll just zoom in and click on the text anywhere, come across. Now notice I'm zooming in, okay? If you don't zoom in, what may have a tendency to happen is some things occur that are grip related, okay? That the text might jump around. So I highly recommend zooming in when you want to play with text or, drop text into positions, okay? So hit escape twice. Come down here, this isn't supposed to be my name, so I double click on the text, highlight the text, and I can type in date. And then I'll just go ahead and put a date in here. There we go. Click, and there's the date. I can come up here, double click. We'll go ahead and highlight this again. Scale. And then we'll put in 1 to 1. Whoop, this isn't 1 to 1. This is 1 to 2. Okay? Then since this is so much closer to being complete, I'm just going to copy this one up to here, double click on it, get that 1 to 1, click off of it, and I'll just delete my name. There we go. So here's the completed assignment. So A, let's go ahead and save it. And now B, let's talk about printing it. How do you turn this thing in? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to create PDFs and also how to print to paper. Because when you set something to scale and you print it from AutoCAD on a piece of paper, you can then measure it. All right. And that's how you can check the scale. We'll do that with this assignment. So to go ahead and PDF this assignment, what we're going to do is go to the big A, slide on down to the word print, slide over and up to the word plot, and then hit plot. Click on that. Now, notice that you've got multiple pages. We don't want to do that. We want to continue to plot a single sheet. We're just playing around with this one sheet. And now it's going to say page setup. Well, we don't need to do anything up here with name, but we do need to talk about the printer and the plotter where it says none. So we'll pull that down, and I want to find the Adobe PDF. So there's the Adobe PDF, because that's what I want to print to first. Then I'm going to slide down here. We'll work with a letter size paper. Remember, I said it was 8.5 by 11, standard letter size paper. And then what we want to print is the layout. We're not changing and we're not offsetting anything. We're not changing the scale. Don't mess with anything here. And then hit preview. When you hit preview, this is what it's going to look like. You can zoom in. You can zoom out with the roller ball. All right. If you press the roller ball in, you can move it around. I highly recommend you always check your previews. Okay. So with this set, I'll just hit this print button. It's going to then PDF. So that's what's going to PDF here. We'll go ahead and hit OK. And then it should open up the PDF. Oh, there it is. So in my PDF tool, I'm going to open up this little area over here on the side, a little pull down on the window or pull over on the window. I'm going to hit my thumbnails. I'm going to click on the thumbnail and I'm going to rotate it so I can take a look at it and say, oh, that's what I want to turn in. All right. So then this is the PDF that gets submitted to Canvas. Now we'll go back into AutoCAD. And if we're in the classroom, what we will also do is we will go to the big A. We'll come on down here to print. We're going to come over, continue the same sheet. This time we're going to grab print server. And we need C119. There it is. Print server 2 HS underscore C119. That's our thing. So we click on that. Letter size, that's all set and good. And we'll go ahead and hit, oh, nope, preview. Always preview. Everything looks good. Hit the print icon. Now it's actually getting sent to the printer. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Okay, so now I picked this thing up from the printer. What I'll do is measure these, and I'll go ahead and show you how that's done in a different video. All right, hope this helped get through the AutoCAD portion of the plot drawing assignment. Thanks a lot.